I am your friend, Dr. Charles Apoki. Apoki is Apoki. Apoki. A pastor was here yesterday, very senior pastor. I've been mentoring him for years, but for quite some time, we've not been close to each other. And after more than an hour of mentorship session, I hardly allow people come into my space nowadays, my house, because it prevents me from doing what I am doing on social media. It takes my time. And I'm also very reclusive nowadays. I don't know why, as people get older, they don't want too many people around them. So, but I spent quite some time with him because I knew him long time ago. After so many discussions, he said that I want to be like you. And I laughed. I laughed. You can't be like me. You will be yourself. But I can share with you some key principles that have helped me. When you are somebody from a poor background, you are somebody that does not have so many abilities, you are not too intelligent like me, and there are so many defects that you have. How can you become relevant in life or reach a level of self actualization? I don't want to be president of Nigeria. I don't want to be governor of Delta State. I don't want to be a senator. I want to be Dr. Apoki. That's the best of Dr. Apoki. So, and I shared some things with him, and in the bathroom this morning, my spirit was teaching me uh, these things to write down or reminding me. Number one, have and cultivate a covenanted private life with God. A covenanted private life with God. Remember, I shared with you that from this my old 30-year-old Bible, there are several things I have marked here in the Word of God that I abide. They are in my heart. They are covenant scriptures, and they have entered my subconscious. They are the contract I have with God. I am a divine project. I won't be abandoned. I have a contact with my God. He will never abandon me until he finishes his project or in my life. So I have this covenanted life. I have prayers that people have prayed for me, declarations that people have made over me, revelations that God has given to me concerning myself, and convictions that I have concerning my future. My future, all these things are different from my neighbor's own, are different from any other person, are different from my listeners. But the principles are the same. The person might change. Principles are the same. It is the person that determines the coloration of the application of the principles. Point number 2, don't be afraid to live your life to the fullest. Don't be afraid. I told somebody that he should no longer be afraid of living your life to the fullest. Don't be afraid of it. If I say this now, if I do this now, that now, if I do this, if they know about this. There are people whose income are in Forbes magazine. The salaries they receive are public. Their shares in companies are known. Don't advertise yourself when you don't have enough protection, security, and when you are vulnerable. But don't be afraid to live your life. Don't be afraid to say, I want to be a multi-millionaire. Don't be afraid to say, I want to be a global citizen. Don't be afraid to, in your mind first before you tell another person. In 2015, yes. No, not 2015. I think it's 2005. That was the first year I decreed in January that I will have 1 million naira in my account. It was November 15th, that 2005, that I had 1.15 million in my account. I had never had a million naira balance in my account. Never until 2005. But in the January like this, I declared it, I decreed it, and it came to pass. It took time. Be steadfast in your pursuit of your destiny. Destiny is a vector quantity. It has magnitude, direction, intensity, density, and duration. So be intense, be steadfast about it, but be flexible. There is a tertiary institution I wanted to build, or have been building, and somehow I didn't have the enthusiasm that I usually put into my businesses, to my duties, until somebody came and gave a suggestion, my lawyer, that I should build another kind of school related to health. And then somebody called me from the US, linked me with somebody else who wanted me to be a member of the board of his School of Health Technology. And he told me that the courses they will study there are related to my field. And then I now understood why there has been this delay, and I'm becoming flexible. We can do the other entrepreneurship courses somewhere else, in another land, in another space. That won't take time. So be flexible. Don't be afraid to be yourself. I am Dr. Apoki. I'm not any other person. I am not a very gentle person. I am not a timid person. I am not your regular person. I am Dr. Apoki. You don't need to like me. I am Dr. Apoki. If I was the only one in this world, Jesus would still have come to die for me. So I'm an original copy. I'm not a photocopy. And I don't play with myself. I don't play with my space. The day my father produced me as a sperm cell, there were at least 40 million to 250 million sperm cells produced by my father. And I came first. I came first out of the out of the 250 million sperm cells. I came first. So I'm unique. I'm a champion. I swam from my mother's cervix to her fallopian tube to fertilize her egg. I had no eyes, but I could trace my future to my second half to become a zygote. And then I traveled down the fallopian tube back to the womb. And God directed me, I planted myself in my mother's womb. To swim from my mother's cervix to her fallopian tube to fertilize her egg is like a man swimming from Lagos to New York across the Atlantic with all the waves of the fallopian tubes and with all the contention with other sperm cells. So I'm unique. I am unique. I'm a champion. I am the best that happened in that intercourse. So I don't play with myself. I don't want to become another person. There were many possibilities that didn't become me. I am me. God is I am that I am. I am me that I am me. I'm the me that I am the me. I am myself. And it is being myself that divinity manifests through me. So I realize that I can be different, but I don't need to be outrageous. I don't need to be outrageous or be a deviant or outrageously deviant. I should aim for decency, modesty, and self-respect. Respect myself so I won't go and kiss another person's wife. I respect myself so that I don't owe. I am not owing any person. As at this month, I had paid all my financial obligations, remaining 2 million that my very good friend gave to me as an investment in my business. And I've been paying him dividends. 1 year I paid him 1.2 million or so for 1 million. Last year he brought in 2 million. I don't know how much I've paid him. It is for his own benefit because he has been good to me. If I have the 2 million to release to him, I will release it to him. And I will discontinue the dividends I pay him. But he's a good man. I might still hold the money and still be paying him dividends. I don't owe workers. If I receive a phone call, I don't panic. All those who have bought land from me, their papers are with me, their lands are intact. I have reserve, I have a lot of reserve. Somebody bought 2 acres from the US and there was a little problem. I'm relocating him to another place. I have 30-something acres. I'll give him 2 acres. Somebody paid 800,000 advance and he needed money urgently because he relocated. I sent 700,000 to him because I had paid for the survey. I sent him 700,000. Another paid 500,000, I think from Turkey. He couldn't complete his money. I sent him his money. I was in the mentorship group, I was discussing, and somebody who paid an advance for land started promoting adultery or polygamy in my channel. I refunded his money to him and blocked him. I'm not owing any person. I am myself and I move at my own pace in my own space. But I like self-respect. The next thing is that another man's success or achievement should not make you tear up the picture of your future that you have conceived in your subconscious or God has revealed to you. I've had many people and many things that I admired as I was growing up, but a lot of them have expired. Those things have expired. They were the biggest hospitals in town that I used to wish I was. But when I'll talk about flexibility, when I found out that medical practice, the time I gave to medical practice had expired. I don't perspire over what has expired. that expired at the age of 40. I sold the hospital and left. Left Ababa expired in my mind. I left. Left the good relationship I had with my church, my bishop, and I left. When I see those hospitals today, they look very old, shabby. They are not the things I would want to own. So, and there are people that were dangled in our faces. One problem with church is that if one man is rich and he's doing well and is giving so much, they just dangle them over your face, particularly if you are educated and you are assertive the way I am. They will want to dangle themselves around you. When I go back to the same city and I see a lot of those people, I see those buildings, I see those shopping malls, I see those cars, I see the money they were throwing around that time. They have expired where I am. They don't inspire me. Thank God I didn't tear the picture of my future to be like them. I would have found it difficult to gum the picture again, to form the picture from the pieces. A lot of you threw away your future because you admired other people's present. And let me tell you one thing that helped me. I don't base my life on somebody's budget. I have rich friends. I have powerful friends. I have friends that are connected. Military, police, business sector, politics, anything. I schooled in places where the elite of Nigeria come from. I schooled at Government College Ughelli. It's an elite school. Major generals, my classmate is a retired Rear Admiral. I have all kinds of people. I went to Federal Government College Warri, both governors, all kinds of people. I went to the College of Medicine, University of Ibadan. I went to the University of Ibadan. I debated for the University of Ibadan. I know all kinds of people. I schooled in Yoruba land. I lived in Igbo land. I'm from Delta State. I have all these connections, but I don't base my life on their budget. I live my life according to my budget, and I legitimately work for my money. So I'm not intimidated by any person. So that's one thing I don't bow my head unless I want to respect you. I don't bow my head for you to give a knock. No. You can't shave my head, my hair, and my beards without my permission. But I respect my friends. I respect my benefactors. But my life is not based on their budget. I don't base my life on somebody's body. This year makes it 40 years. My wife is a beautiful woman. I enjoy her company. I am ravished by her love. I'm intoxicated. But she can't use sex to hold me to ransom. No, never. Never, ever. And no woman can. I don't allow that. I prevent that. I intentionally run from that. I fear women. I just fear women. Because there is no cheap sex. Because a woman can react irrationally, can just react on the spur of the moment. Even my wife for 40 years, I fear her. So I respect her boundaries. I buy the peace. I maintain sanity from my own side so that she cannot be pushed to an edge that will make her manifest the intrinsic nature of womanhood. Do you understand me? No. If any of my children go contrary to my principles, there's a limit to which I can insist on things being done. as you are pressing further, the motherly instinct will react against me. And if I react against her, pay her with the bad coins, the bad note that she's paying me with, this family, this small reputation that I have that is standing on half leg will just crumble. And so I understand that and I let some things go. The next thing is that I don't depend on somebody's brain. That's 3 B's now. Somebody's budget, somebody's body, somebody's brain. I've said this before. If you have been following my lectures, there's a sequence. I don't depend on somebody's brain. You can lead me somewhere, but I must learn to live there to where I want to go. I reason independently, and many times I reason in a contrarian fashion. I think for myself. I'm not a religious slave. I think for myself. I dare to challenge whatever I was fed spiritually, fed religiously. I dare to interpret the Bible based on what the Holy Spirit is teaching me. And I'm not a slave to any person. I don't live my life based on the prophecy of my denomination, the prophecy of my church, the prophecy of one man of God somewhere. No. God, I have a personal relationship with him. I phone all my children. Just think about that. I phone all my children regularly. Now, if the Bible says that no hair will fall off my head without Jesus knowing, why won't he speak to me personally and go and speak to another person unless I'm rebellious? When in any generation where prophets are very many, know that that generation is rebellious. They are far from God. And people who run after prophets don't have a personal relationship with God. I think for myself, particularly as an African, I think for myself. I try to think for myself as a Nigerian. That's why I don't like group. I might belong to a WhatsApp group. I will just make fun, but I hardly contribute. I think for myself. I learn from people. I steal with my eyes. I steal with my ears. But I must prepare the meal that suits my purpose and my relationship with God. The next thing is that, where are my notes? Where did I throw them now? They are fallen. My notes fell down. The next thing is that I don't depend on another person's blessing. He can extend to me, but I don't depend on another person's blessing. My friend has become commissioner. My friend is governor. My friend is senator. So I'll be SSA. I will be this. I will be going to Abuja. No. My House of Rep member, his son lived in my house. He is a pastor like me. He's my very good friend. I'm older. He's my younger brother, not baby brother. He's, Robo, we respect age a lot. I have people in Abuja, senior advocates. I have top politicians. I will not travel to Abuja now and start going to phone them. No. That is their blessing. I will not put pressure on them. I was in a house in one of the states with one of my friends, and the governor was coming for dinner. In fact, I was invited for that same dinner. But because I had to leave, I didn't want that relationship now. If I want it, I'll call. I'll make a call. I'll cultivate it. But I don't depend on people's blessings, particularly in this Nigeria. If not, when you have meat in your mouth, you can't whistle. After some time, your brain will be turned upside down and you start defending rubbish. So I try as much as possible to be independent. Don't be afraid to move on. Oof. Don't be afraid to move on. Studied medicine. I was the medical director of Royal Hospital, Ogbo Hill, Opobo number 4, Opobo Road, Aba. Got to a stage, I signed a 2-year contract, and when the 2 years were over, I moved. I started my own. When I got to 40, I moved. Sold the hospital and moved. Life is a journey. Don't stop and start building tents where you met Moses and you saw Elijah and Elijah or whatever. Let's build 3 tents here. No, I moved. I was the medical director, the resident doctor of the international glass industry in Aba. I got irritated. I moved. I came to really started church. It was becoming suffocating. I moved. I opened school with my wife, opened another school, this. I moved. I moved. And I am here. I don't know where next. Life is a journey. I want to see and experience and influence as many people in many places as possible in this lifetime. A rolling stone gathers no moss. That is true. But it's also polished as it is rolling. Shines better than the one that has moss growing on it. I don't need moss on my life. I need to keep moving. I need to shine, baby. So it's not everything that people say that you take and swallow. All work and no play made Jack a dull boy. Jack of all trade, master of none. That Jack was dull. That was why he couldn't master whatever he was doing. I forgot to tell you that I lectured entrepreneurship in the Federal University of Petroleum Resources when at a from FOPRE. When it seemed as if they were doing me a privilege, I moved. I moved. I've learned to move on. No person ties me down. Nothing ties me down. The only person I'm tied to is that my wife that will be married for 40 years. The wedding ring is more than a handcuff. She's the pepper soup I cooked. I went to look for her, so I marry her assets and liabilities. I must drink the pepper soup. Ah, Tision, worry. I will drink it. I cooked it. I will see bone. I will, uh, I will leave the bone and eat the flesh. When it is hot, ooh, I will drink water, but I don't complain. I made the choice. So always think. Don't be afraid to lose. I love so many things, but always think about profit, not gain. Think about the future. Profit is immediate. Like the people that paid money to me and they said I should refund the money, that they have challenges. I could want to hold on to the money. That you will make gain, but you will lose. You will lose the profit. One of them was so impressed that if he never knew I would respond that way, that he has been praying and praying. No, there's a lady that paid deposit for 1 acre nearly 5 or 6 years back. She's my in-law. She lives opposite her father's house is opposite my mother-in-law's house. I've sent message to her. I've not seen her. Her money is there. Her land is there. Her money is with me. Her land is there. If she wants her money, I'll give it to her. She wants her land, I'll give it to her. You will make some losses, but what does it profit a man if he gains the whole world and loses his soul? So profit is different from gain. Gain is immediate. Profit is eternal. So don't be afraid to lose. Some people will think they are smart. Let them outsmart you and let them go away. Always think about possibilities and expressible potentials in little things. obscure places, obsolete places. Have an insightful and expressive mind. Everything is altered and created from the mind. Ughelli, compared to Aba, where I left to this place, compared to Warri, where I grew up, Ughelli, there was no telephone here. There was no telephone, couldn't phone. I used to go to Warri to check my emails. Most of my friends were no longer around. The place was one kind. But God told me, I will open this place, I will develop this place because you agreed to stay. That is pride. That is pride. That is arrogance, Dr. Apoki. But that's what I heard. And I had an instruction, buy land now. Land is going to become expensive. And I started to buy. Today, you are reaching me, I'm reaching you from Ughelli. I went to the farm to start doing videos. It was obscure. I did videos from wheelbarrows. I did videos from the back of my truck. I did videos in cassava farm. Somebody saw me at the airport in Lagos and said, is it not the man that does videos from the bush? I've done video with Captain Callistus in the cockpit, in the plane. I've done videos from Germany, from Holland, from Netherlands, from all over the world, from Australia, from all over the world. I like that word, all over the world. Donald Trump, all over the world. So, but it started with obscurity. The name Efun Oto, most of you didn't know before now. The name Okwokoko, Chima Kalu, take your time. Bachanya, ungemegi say Okwokoko, we should abbreviate it. Abbreviate what? Saskatchewan, is it not a name in Canada? Albuquerque, is it Albuquerque or Albuquerque? No be name. Mississippi, no be name. Una da abbreviator. You want me to abbreviate Okwokoko? It is Okwokoko. And my town is Otokutu. Whether there are criminals there, I'm not a criminal. I'm an ambassador. I'm the real ambassador of Otokutu. This is how we look like, not those vain fellows. So, Chima Kalu, I hope you have heard what I'm saying. You went to Okokoko, you couldn't look for my school. You couldn't ask of Dr. Apoki. You thought it was one yeye place so that you could come and yab me. Chima Kalu, I'm talking to you. And so, everything is altered from your mind, is created from your mind. The first book I published was so rubbish, but I still sold. And it has turned a multi-billion naira industry. First message I preached, I was nervous, but today I'm speaking confidently. And so go for what, sometimes you might make a life and make meaning from where what other people ignore. It gives you enough space to maneuver. There are millionaires in every nation, no matter how poor that nation is. Don't start by trying to create an image that you can't carry. Don't carry a picture of trying to impress people when you don't have the system, the structures, and the shoulders to carry them. You will burn out very quickly. Live a simple life, but don't be stupid. Don't let any person bring stupidity around you. I don't tolerate it. I whip you. I bite you. Live a simple life. Live according to what you can afford. Live according to what is comfortable for you. When I go to preach, you see a lot of fanfare. Woo, 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 woo. For me, it's quite irritating. I prefer that simple life. I've gone to preach in Kano. They refuse to give me chair. They refuse to call me upside down. I'm the guest speaker. They say, sit down. Don't look like the guest speaker. Sit down. You're not the person we're expecting. Until they called me to address them. Okay. Live a simple life, but don't be a simpleton. Because him whom the Lord has honored and knoweth it not, is like a beast that perisheth in the field. So, him whom the Lord has honored, you should know when you are honored by God. Number two, you should know it. If you don't know it, you will perish like, not a human being, a beast in the field. Opportunities, everything, but you still perish foolishly. Don't tolerate mediocrity and stupidity from people and from yourself. I am my greatest analyst and critic, but don't try to insult me with what I know that I can do and change. There's a way you pass information to me, I accept it. If not, I won't accept it, and I will continue progressing despite your hatred. Don't be afraid of betrayal and disappointment. Learn to give people opportunities, but don't 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 allow them know what they can use to betray you. Somebody said that I need drivers. I think, I don't know now. I used to have 7 drivers and about 11 vehicles, both in the school and in the house. I don't know how many now, how many drivers, because my wife manages them. I don't like traveling with drivers. I don't like drivers driving me. One day, a newly employed driver went with me to Petra Institute, Efronto. When he saw the vast land, the other driver was telling him, he said, if we carry your Ghana, if they kidnap me, that what they would demand is 50 million, that I'm a big man. I heard it. I laughed. I told him we would die together in the place they kidnapped us. I will even outlive you because I am real Paco. I'm a village man. But I kept it. After 2 weeks, I sacked him. So I don't travel with drivers. The last one I traveled has gone, carrying another person now. I can give you diversionary information so that you can leave me alone. I intentionally put into the radio and around me that I am a miser. I used the wrong word instead of being frugal. And so people don't put pressure on me to come and give them money. But after I had reached a point where I could help, I'm doing charity, a lot of charity. I'm giving scholarships, doing things. I needed that stage to be able to grow enough, to have enough to share, to have the muscle to bear the load. Be your priority. Be your priority. As much as possible, be your priority. Love your neighbor as yourself. You are the measure. Don't destroy this life for another person who will not even remember you. Self-preservation is important. Listen to me. Very few people will tell you these things. Most religious leaders are totally different from the humility they show you. They practice duplicity. Know God for yourself. Read the Bible for yourself. God bless you. Remember, I have a webinar coming up on the 10th and on the 11th of this month, a few days from now. Send a message to +234 8092. No, I missed it. Send a message to +234 80 We have properties for sale. Also send a message to +234 80 I am Dr. Charles Apoki.